What's up, guys? It's the Warrior COTP here, back with another My DVD Collection, part 35. Today, or this video, we'll be doing my Western collection that predated back when I actually had space and I was putting stuff alphabetical in front of stuff. So if you've watched any of my DVD collections, videos, you would see that I got plenty of other Westerns, but these are all, I don't know what happened. Somehow or another they got out of alphabetical order, but some are in alphabetical order, so, but they're all going to be Westerns, so let's get started. First off, we got Russell Crowe and Christian Bale in the remake of 3:10 to Yuma. And this, like I mentioned, is a remake. The original 3:10 to Yuma was really good too. It was black and white. I forgot who played in it, but it's supposed to be the best Western since Unforgiven. And no doubt, it was a very good Western. I couldn't say if this was as big as the original when it came out, but it was very big. Great movie. And honestly, it kind of makes you like both the good guy and the bad guy in this film to a degree. Well, you like Christian Bale more, of course, but you see Russell Crowe kind of has a soft spot too. Next, we got A Few More Dollars. Or I'm sorry, Fistful of Dollars. Kind of got titles mixed up there. This is Clint Eastwood. This is part of, I think it's A Fistful of Dollars, for a Few More Dollars, and Good, Bad, and Ugly. I think it was all those were in connection to this. Be honest, it's been, I don't want to give you no bad information. I haven't watched any of these movies since my 20s, and I'm 43 now, so yeah, so as you can see, yeah, I think it says on the back part of Good, Bad, and Ugly and stuff. So you got A Fistful of Dollars with Clint Eastwood. Next, you got A Gunfight. This was made in the 70s, early 70s, I'm guessing. It was Kirk Douglas and Johnny Cash, and they're basically two old gunfighters that come up with this idea. Let's pack an arena full of people and have one last gunfight, and the winner takes all. You know, kind of like a last effort, like let's make some money off of our names. It's a really good film. I liked it a lot. And for people that don't know, Johnny Cash was actually in a few movies. This is one of my favorites. He was also in a movie called The Baron and the Kid, where he played a pool shark, and then basically he was a pool hustler. And then he played in another movie called The Ballad of Jesse something. But he basically played a litter in that, but he was a father. It's kind of more of a heartwarming movie. But yeah, most movies I've seen him in, he's pretty good. You know, he's not like the best actor or nothing, but they've all been pretty good movies. Next, you got Appaloosa. And this is with Viggo Mortensen, Ed Harris, Renee Zellweger, and Jeremy Irons. I've never seen this movie, not that I remember, but it looked cool, so I picked it up, and I like Ed Harris. One of these days I'll watch it. Next, you got Big Jake with John Wayne. This is my favorite John Wayne movie of all time. I know everyone has their favorite of an actor, but this is definitely my favorite of John Wayne. Very great movie. When I was growing up, we had this on VHS. And I'll tell you what, I've watched this movie a lot. Patrick Wayne's in this too, John Wayne's son. Maureen O'Hara, which she was in a couple of movies. And Richard Boone is this guy right here. He played in Have Gun Will Travel. And if you ever watch Stand By Me with the kids are singing his theme song to that when they're walking down the train tracks. Next, we have The Bridges of Madison County. Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep. This is also a good movie, and this is a Snapcase. Yeah, usually you see this movie in a non-snap case from what I've seen when I ran into it other times. Like I ran into it yesterday at the Goodwill. It was in just a regular case. Next, we got Bonanza, The Best of Bonanza, and it's volume 1. I've talked about this before. I would rather have all the seasons. But, you know, when you like a TV show and you come across this, you'll take it how you can get it. Next, we have Buffalo Bill. I saw this back in the day when I was pretty young. Joel McCrea and Maureen O'Hara. Maureen O'Hara was in a lot of different movies throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s. She actually lived to be pretty old too. But this movie is really good. I definitely liked it. It's based on a true story. I'm sure there's some stuff that's fabricated in it. Next, we have a movie called Cheat the Hangman. Vengeance is Coming. And as you can see, it's unopened. And I got this movie from the Dollar Tree. It's one cool thing about the Dollar Tree. They sell, or they used to sell, lots of Westerns. And it'd be like some modern new ones for the most part. They had some old ones, but... Next, we have Comes a Horseman with James Caan, Jane Fonda, and Jason Roberts. I've never seen this movie, but I like James Caan a lot, so I know it will definitely be decent. I mean, you can read up there, you know, usually when a magazine comes out and says strong words like that, it's got to be halfway decent. Next, we got, I put this in the Western section because it's cowboys and aliens. Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford. Now, this is from the director of the Iron Man, it says. And this is a slide case. Let's see if, same as, yep. Looks like everything's all the same, so nothing to see there. Next, we have For a Few More Dollars. This is the one, I kind of mixed up the titles. Clint Eastwood. And this is part of the Good, Bad, and Ugly. And I'm pretty sure it was just a trilogy of movies. And I didn't tell you guys yet. I usually tell you guys because if you're new to the channel, I put this up here so you can pause it and read it in case if you were wondering what's about. But better yet, if it's something looks like you might like it, jot it down and look it up on YouTube later, the trailer. Just remember, sometimes trailers don't really justify movies. Now, my movies are not all perfect, but the discs are good, so I know they all play. But that's a sticker that I got on one of them. So this is Clint Eastwood and Hang 'em High. This is definitely one of his most famous Westerns that he was in. And the genre they called these Westerns that Clint Eastwood was in was spaghetti Westerns. I gotta take all this stuff off. Next, we have the Hatfields and McCoys with Kevin Costner and Bill Paxton, which I think he died. He was in a bunch of movies, from Terminator, Twister, or was it Twister? Yeah, I think Twister. He was in a bunch of different movies. He died recently, but this was a TV series about the Hatfields and McCoys, and they just did it for one series. I think, 5 or 6, 7 episodes or something. And I got this from Walmart out of the $5 bin. But I liked this series a lot. It was pretty good. Go back to that one. I kind of blurred past it. But pretty cool TV series. And that's brand new, unopened. Next, we got Clint Eastwood and High Plains Drifter. And as you see, these Clint Eastwood's not Clint Eastwood collection. So I got a lot of different, you can definitely tell I'm a thrift store buyer as far as DVDs. So this is part of the Universal Western collection. That's cool. Clint Eastwood, High Plains Drifter, another one of his famous Westerns. And my favorite Clint Eastwood Western is The Pale Rider, where he basically helps some poor gold miners against a rich gold miner that pretty much owns this town. And it's an awesome movie. That's all I gotta say. Just look it up and watch it. Next one, How the West Was Won, 3-disc special edition. And this movie is unopened. And I'll just show you some of the actors who are in it. Some big names were in this one. Gregory Peck, James Stewart, John Wayne. Next, I got this years back. I got this at Walmart out of a $5 bin. I'm talking about years back. I probably had this DVD for at least 12 years. This is Jeremiah Johnson with Robert Redford, and The Mother Lode with Charlton Heston and Kim Basinger. And I found another copy of Jeremiah Johnson on a Robert Redford 4-disc set, which I already showed. But I've had this one for a while. Definitely 2 good movies. Next, these John Wayne, this is John Wayne 2 DVD collection, 7 movies including McClintock. These John Wayne sets are like a dime a dozen. They were mass produced, these old John Wayne movies. And what they'll do is they'll usually put on a movie like McClintock, and then they'll throw like all these old John Wayne movies on it that were like literally 45 minutes long back in the day when he first started doing Westerns. That took like 2 days or a day to record. That were like very basic, typical bad guy versus, or good guy versus villain cowboy Westerns. But I'll show you which ones are on there. So this a documentary of John Wayne. That's cool. You got Dawn Rider. That's old. Texas Terrier. That's old. Trail Beyond. That's old. McClintock was newer. Star Packer old. Hurricane Express old. I think the Hurricane Express was a TV show. Next, this is a unopened copy of special edition double feature John Wayne, The Angel and the Badman, and John Wayne on film. So that's probably another documentary. And Angel and the Badman is old John Wayne movie too. So yeah, I'll get these and get them just for the documentaries. I don't care if they're different, because John Wayne definitely had a pretty cool life as far as how he started and all. From what I heard, when he was a kid, he used to show up to the Western movie sets, and you know, before he was even an actor, and he would show up, and I think Howard Hughes, I don't remember his name, but he became friends when he was a kid with one of the big directors, and he was became like a stuntman. Then he started doing the Westerns and all that stuff. So next we got Maverick with Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Garner. Classic, and this is a snap case. This movie actually took me a while to find. I finally ended up finding it. And now I find it all the time, it seems. So that's it for the first pile. Next. So here's actual movie McClintock. I had a few copies of McClintock. I gave some away, but this John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. Maureen O'Hara was also in Big Jake with John Wayne. But this was made years earlier from Big Jake. But yeah, McClintock. This is kind of a funny Western, at the same time serious. I think that's why people like this movie so much. Next, we have Outlaw Justice. And this is with pretty much the Highwaymen, except John Wayne, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, Travis Tritt, which he was a country singer, and Waylon Jennings. So pretty much a cast of nothing but country singers. And there's been movies with nothing but the Highwaymen, you know, including John Wayne. I don't think I have any of the Highwaymen movies, though. I don't know. We'll find out. Next, we have Paint Your Wagon. This is with Lee Marvin, Clint Eastwood, and Gene Seberg. I have never actually seen this movie. I have came across it when it was on, but never watched it. But one day I would like to watch it. I know this movie is a little bit more comical. Next, we have Pure Country. Double feature. You have Pure Country with George Strait, Leslie Ann Warren, Isabel Glaser. And then you have George Strait, Katrina Elam, Pure Country Part 2, The Gift. And I've never seen that. Any of them. Next, you have Rio Bravo. And I had this movie for a long time, too. This is a snap case. And this has John Wayne, Dean Martin, Ricky Nelson. Ricky Nelson was a singer. Angie Dickinson, Walter Brennan, Ward Bond from Wagon Train, and John Russell. one of the great John Wayne movies, one of his biggest movies, classics. Next, you have a movie called The Virginian. I actually bought this from Walmart back in the day out of the $5 bin. I bought it because I thought maybe it might have been like a twist off or something related to the old Virginian TV show back in the day. But come to find out, it's not. But it was a decent movie. Ron Perlman from Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy's in it. Next, we have The War Wagon, another classic John Wayne with Kirk Douglas. Need I say more? Kirk Douglas and John Wayne were definitely two of the big Western stars back then. Both had different political views, both good friends. They just didn't talk politics together. It has special features on there. This one was all moving around in there. Next, we have Tommy Lee Jones and the Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, one of the best films of the year. I think I've seen this movie before. Could be thinking of a different movie, but if it's the same movie I was thinking, it's definitely pretty good. Next, we have Tombstone with Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, also Sam Elliott was in this, and Bill Paxton. Great movie. I've actually talked about this with the Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp movie, asking which one did you think was better. So there's that question again. Put it in the comments. Me personally, I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't even like answering questions like that. 2-movie collection. You got the new True Grit with Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, and Josh Brolin. Very good movie. Then you got the classic True Grit with John Wayne. Very good movie. Which there was also sequels to that. Rooster Cogburn. There was another one too. And that is unopened. Next, we got another collection. This is unopened. Platinum Collector Series, TV Western Classics, 4 DVD series, 19 features, over 12 hours, digitally enhanced audio. And this is what it looks like. And no, I'm not going to open it to see what it looks like. If I ever want to watch anything, I might open it. But until then, it's going to stay nice and shut. As you can see, that's all the different TV shows that are on that. Next, we have Wild Bill with Jeff Bridges, Ellen Barkin. I saw this back in the day when it first came out. Very good movie. I liked it a lot. Wild Bill Hickok. So, speaking of True Grit, this is one of the sequels. John Wayne, Katharine Hepburn, and Rooster Cogburn and the lady. And I think the first one was just Rooster Cogburn. And as you see, a lot of these have Universal Western collections. But here's the back if you want to read it. Next, we have Sam Elliott in a double feature, Gone to Texas and the Blue River. So if people don't know this, I might have said this in another collection. Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck started off doing Westerns, and they did Westerns together. They were friends. And then later on in life, they started doing other stuff. And then they kind of went back to Westerns too in the 80s. But that's what they started off doing, was Westerns. Sam Elliott had one of his golden voices. You know what I'm saying. Next, we got Shane with Alan Ladd, Jean Arthur, Van Heflin, and Jack Palance played the bad guy in this movie. And this is one of the all-time classic Westerns. Really, if you think of Westerns and you say you're older than me, you would think of Shane. Shane is a classic. I come across this here and there at thrift stores. I already got a copy. I don't need one. Next, and there you go at the top, Universal Western Collection. James Stewart and Shenandoah. Another classic. This is a good movie. My personal favorite James Stewart Western is Winchester 73, which I don't think I have that yet. Next, we have James Garner, Joan Hackett, Walter Brennan, and Support Your Local Sheriff. Now, James Garner, if that face looks familiar to you, he was in the Rockford Files for a bunch of seasons. Next, we got Support Your Local Gunfighter with James Garner. I think he's just switching up his roles in all these movies. Next, we got Happy Trails Theater, Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, The Best of Roy Rogers. 4 movies on 1 DVD. You got The Spoilers of the Plains, North of the Great Divide, Along the Navajo Trail, and Trail of Robin Hood. Now, supposedly, I actually met Roy Rogers when I was younger. Him and, I think, Trigger's son, the son of Trigger, which he was called Trigger too, I think. And supposedly Roy Rogers pinched my cheek, called me a cute little feller. Next, we got another John Wayne Western, surprise, surprise, The Comancheros, another classic. And so his old movies were like overprinted and stuff, but a lot of these really good ones were just single copies. Next, we got Tommy Lee Jones and Kate Blanchett and The Missing. This is another good movie. I like this movie a lot. It's been years and years since I've seen this movie, but this movie is really good. If you've never seen The Missing, I suggest watching it. Next, we have a all-time classic. I think this was made in the 80s, The Man from the Snowy River. This was really big when I was a kid. I think there was even a TV show that had to do with this. Another good film. I'm guessing this took place in Australia. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Almost as long as I've been born. Next, we got Clint Eastwood and the Outlaw Josie Wales. This is definitely one of his classic Westerns. And I will say, I definitely, every time I ever watch this movie, I highly enjoy it. It's basically about a man and his revenge. Next, we have The Long Riders, another classic modern Western, which nowadays it wouldn't be too modern, but it's David Carradine, Keith Carradine, Robert Carradine, James Keach, Stacy Keach, Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid, Christopher Guest, and Nicholas Guest. So it's a bunch of brothers that all play together in this film. So what makes this film definitely one of a kind. If you never heard of it, I definitely suggest watching it. Next, we have Snapcase of John Wayne and the Cowboys. This is a lot of people's favorite John Wayne movie that is around my age, in their 40s to 50s, because this was made in the 70s, and it was basically about John Wayne needing cowboys for hire, and all that were around were kids. I forgot for what reason. Might have been war or something. So he had to use kids, and he got all these kids, and they end up having to fight like cattle rustlers and stuff. They're trying to steal the cattle. But it's definitely a great film. It's not my favorite one, but it's really good. And the cast has the one kid from Revenge of the Nerds in it. It has a bunch of other people in it. Don't really know their names. I know the ones at Carradine. Next, we got Clint Eastwood, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. One of the all-time great spaghetti Western films. They called them spaghetti Westerns because they were filmed with like a different style, and they were done in like Italy. Next, you got a double feature of John Wayne, The Sons of Katie Elder, and The Shootist. Both of these movies are classics, and I was definitely happy when I first found this because I needed both of the movies. James Stewart's in The Shootist. And last but not least of this video, we got, like I was saying, about Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott, and also Jeff Osteridge, Louis L'Amour's The Sackets. Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott. Alright, so that pretty much completes this video as far as movie titles. If you're new to the channel, you made it this far, I guess you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want more. Go back and watch my old collection videos. And thanks everybody else for watching. That's been watching. Appreciate it. Until next time, peace out.